Hello everyone, my name is Dead Gambit, and welcome back to the inventory tutorial. Now I know I took a long hiatus and I apologize for that, but I'm back and I wanted to I didn't really wrap up this small series like I wanted to, and that was mostly my fault. A lot of things came down, so I didn't really have enough time. But I'm going to basically knock all of that out of the way. So, one of the things was someone had asked me how would they delete an item from their inventory from both our GUI inventory and our physical inventory. And that's actually pretty simple. So I'm going to go over that first. So if you remember how we added inventory.childAdded, there is another function called child removed. So you simply put inventory.child removed, connect, function. We could put the same thing, child. And let's see. Let me organize this a bit. So oops. If you see me put stuff like slashes, or if you see me put semicolons at the end of my coding, I apologize. I came back from some rigorous programming in C#, so I'm still trying to transition over to the nomenclature of Lua. So anyways, let's see. So what am I gonna? I'm gonna make this our. This will be our updater. Down here will be our. I'll just put button manager. Okay. Put a space there. And these would be our variables, obviously. There we go. Okay, so now that we got a little bit of organization done in this script, believe me, there's a lot that can be done, but I won't go over that. Let's see. So we're dealing with child removed, which is just the opposite of child added. So we would do first. No. Let's do we'll do a for loop first. So for index. Where am I going? For index slot in pairs, and we want to reference basically everything that's going to end up in our main. So we do script.parent. We are under the main one, right? Yeah, we are. Script.parent get children, do if slot is a image button, then let's go back into our replicated storage and we'll look at our GUI. And I want to see what I have here. Okay, so in our item slot GUI, we're going to add an object value, and we're going to call this object. Might as well make it simple. and we're going to and on our updater functions, we're going to set that object. So slot dot object dot value equals child, and we copy and we paste. Simple. So then we do if slot dot is a image button, if slot dot object dot value is equal to child, then slot destroy. So now it's going to destroy that slot if the object value is that item that we removed. And that's what kind of makes it, that gives you more control over your inventory. So I remember there was this I remember there's this one game years ago. It didn't really utilize object values. It kind of just found one specific item of the same name, and it got kind of messy. You know, it really wouldn't delete. Like, if you happen to have that same object equipped, it would delete another one or whatever. So, you know, this kind of personalizes it. It helps you. Like, let's say the player deletes an item that he already has equipped. Well, you don't want him to still have those objects, right? So you can just match it with the same item and also delete whatever he had on hand if it was equipped. It helps with that. I'll just say that it helps limit that. Let's see. Okay, so I got that, and now let's actually test it out. So when we go in, I don't know if I still have my data store saved or not, or if I deleted it. Let me check. So I do have a classic sword, but I'm gonna click on this again. I'm gonna get more stuff, and if we open up our player tab, go to our character, we go to our player GUI, main GUI, inventory, main, and we look at the objects, you see that the values are filled with that exact model that we have there. That's good. Now I'm gonna switch over to the server side, because remember, in order for us to delete something in our inventory permanently and for where the whole server knows, it has to be done on the server. So when we actually put together that delete button, everything will be on the server. So anyways, I'm going to select this classic sword and I'm going to delete it. Now if I go back here, there it is. It is now gone from my inventory. Alright, I delete this sword again. Look at that, now I just have the epic armor that I can equip. And we don't really have a function for destroying the equipped armor if we delete this. So if I were to delete that and go back, you would see that it's still here. And if I hit on equip, as you can see, it's not going to work because it can't see that slot anymore since we deleted it. So now I'm stuck with that. But there's a simple fix. That's where we go into our handler. So we're going to add another if else statement. So we'll do, let's see, else if child dot name is equal to delete, then, and what do I want to do here? I was going to combine these remotes, like put them on all under one remote, but I think equip should be its own thing, and most likely delete should be separate as well. So let's go into our remotes folder, and we'll create a new remote event. We will call it inventory. No, we'll just call it delete, or you can call it whatever you want. So we'll call this delete for now. And what we want to do is we want to have our same for loops for our item. So item in pairs main get children do. We do the if item is a image button, and then if item dot is selected dot value is true, and then what else? Let's do if item that is selected dot if item dot equipped dot value is equal to false, and then that's when we can put in our delete. So we'll do remotes dot delete. We'll send the item dot object dot value, and that's all we need to do with it. Really, is just send. We'll just send the server the object value, and then it'll we can have it take care of whatever we have in our inventory from there. So we open our remotes function script, and let's put in that delete. So we'll do I have, yes, I have a variable for delete. So, remotes. So remotes dot delete dot on server connect function. We have player, and we have item. So then we do if, oh no, let's see. So I'm gonna compare, so we'll do for index inventory items in pairs. I do player dot inventory get children, do if inventory items is equal to item, then we destroy it. But of course, none of this is going to work because we don't even have a delete button here. So let's make that. Let's actually have it. Let's bring these down. So let me remove this real quick. And we'll put you. What do you think? 8 maybe? 8, 9, as close to the bottom as possible. We'll put you 5, 7 maybe? No. 6. And then I'll duplicate. I'll call this new one delete. I'll put you at 7, 5. I'm just putting in random numbers. It doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna worry about that too much. If you really want it, you know, to be evenly spaced, I mean, you can try to do it by hand or eye coordinate it, or you can just use a simple constraint. It doesn't really matter. So we're gonna call this, to not confuse anyone, we're gonna call this delete. There we go. And now we'll hide it until we call upon it when we select an object. So my inventory should be empty. Or not, I still have the classic sword. So let's see. Let's grab these. And I do have the delete option. So first, let me equip the sword. So I have the sword here, and let's see if I can delete it. I can't, because if you remember from our handler, we are checking to see if equipped is false. So that's good. So let's try this sword. Can I delete it? Oh, I got an error. Let's see. There's a main GUI handler attempt to call an instance value. So it did not like that. Let me see. Item is selected equals. That is everything that's inside the GUIs. Then we have the object value. Oh, I messed up. That's why you should always take your time. You're supposed to put fire server. And now it should work. Okay, so I have my stuff. I'm going to equip my sword and try to delete it. Of course I can't, so I'll just cancel that. Now I'm looking at my epic armor. I'll delete that. And it's gone. I forgot to show what it was showing in the inventory, so let's try the classic sword. We'll have this classic sword here. And it deleted it from our physical inventory as well as our GUI inventory. The classic sword that we have equipped remains untouched because we really wouldn't want to delete something that we have equipped already. So, but if you notice, when I deleted them, our options didn't disappear. So let's go ahead and throw that in. And just a simple copy and paste right here. And then one more time, I just want to show that. So I open my inventory. Here's my, let me put on my epic armor this time. And then I'm going to equip my sword. And I'm going to delete this one because I don't like to have duplicates in my inventory. So delete. What do you know? I only have my epic armor and my classic sword left. Everything else is gone. I think I know why this is not loading up, or the inventory is like deleting itself. Let me see. No, wait, it's right here. Okay, I guess I don't know. Let me see something real quick. Well, anyways, I'll have to try to figure that out later. So that's how we get past, you know, deleting an item from both your GUI and your physical inventory. The next thing I want to go over is showing how you can display more data, such as how much damage a sword does, or how much defense a piece of armor gives you. I'm probably not going to show how to actually throw those values onto your character. That's something that you should try to figure out on your own. It's not that hard. It's really not. Like, if you understand how to do this, you'll most likely be able to understand how to do the same thing when you're applying it to your player. But yeah, so let's jump into that. Okay, so as I stated earlier, we're going to be working on displaying the information about our weapons, or displaying more information about our weapons in our GUI. Just a quick heads up, this is extremely experimental. I have not really tried this before because I am basically dealing with one frame. In most of my games, I separate armor from the swords, but I know a lot of times games generally put them all in under one frame, and they usually have like a search by item type or name or whatever, which is probably something that I'll do. So but first, let's get this out of the way. So we're going, as you probably saw me do while I was talking there, I made the equip menu visible, because we're gonna have to be able to see exactly what we're looking at. So right now we have the description, and that's pretty much all we have for us right now. So let me go in here. To our server storage, we're going to items, and let's look at both our epic armor and our classic armor. As you can see, we don't have, as far as information goes, we only have what type it is, but that's about it. So let's go ahead and let's make a configuration folder. I don't want too many values just hanging around in there. I kind of want them all separated from the models. So I created a configuration in Epic Armor. I'm going to name it, what are we gonna name it? Let's do equip stats. Then I'm going to copy and paste it into the classic sword, and simply drag and drop the item type side of it. So our item type is a string value. I mean, if you want, you can put item name Put item name in there. Set it to like armor. Name there. I mean, that's solely based on preference. Classic sword. But since our script is already getting the name from the actual model or tool itself, really not necessary. But if you want to make everything as neat as you can, you know, you can throw that in there. That's a-okay. So let's see. Let's look at the sword first. We know swords usually deal with damage primarily, physical damage, unless you're adding different things like magic or whatnot. But I'm just going to throw in damage. So let's put in do a number value. And I say a number value because a lot of times you probably don't want to have it limited to whole numbers, especially if you're going to be doing, let's say, you're going to be setting your damage to have minimums and maximums, and then you have to factor in enemy's defense, blah blah blah. You're most likely going to have some decimals in there, and that's fine. Some games do that. They include decimal values in there. That's all right. Nothing too terrible about that. Let's go ahead. We'll call this damage. And I want to look in the sword script real quick and see how much damage you're doing. So the base damage is 5, slash is 10, lunge is 30. I'm just going to give it the base damage value of 5. Not really worried about the other things. And then let's see. Got damage there. Now for our epic armor, I'm going to copy this. For our epic armor, we want this, instead of damage, we want it to be defense. And I'll just leave defense as 5 as well. So that's all I'm going to do. If you want to expound more on that, you know what? Do this. Also do, oops. Make a, I guess I'll do an integer. Make an integer, call it level, and we'll just set this to 1. We don't have a we don't have an actual data store that handles that, but like I said, we're just working on displaying different information. So we have level, damage for the sword, level and defense for our armor. And that's all I'll deal with for now. If you want to add more, you can feel free to do that for your own projects. So we're going to go back to our manager. And we're going to actually first, I'm sorry. Going to our GUI items. And let's go ahead and throw that into a configuration folder as well. Again, this will be called item stats. We'll go ahead and throw our object and item type inside of there. And we will also put in our a integer value for level. A number value for our damage and defense. I'm just gonna abbreviate this to damage slash defense, because I'm only using one item slot and I really don't want to have to deal with having to deal with two different ones for both damage and defense. I mean, we could we? No. I'm just gonna keep it like that. So now we go back to our manager script, which I already have open, and obviously we moved. If we pay attention to the child, we moved everything into the equip stats. That's probably what I should have called this. You do that. Just change it to equip stats. So where was I? I'm losing track now. So we moved our item types into our configurations folder. So what we'll do is we'll do child.wait for child, equip stats, dot item type, and we'll actually do the same thing for here. I'm just gonna copy that and paste that here. So what it should say is slot wait for child equip stats dot item type dot value equals child wait for child equip stats dot item type dot value. We probably don't need this wait child or wait for child in here, so we'll just make it like that. And it should be able to see it. And I'm gonna do the same thing for objects here, so just actually just copy and paste this front line here where it says slot. Go ahead and paste it down here, and we will change this to object. And let's see. And then basically you're gonna go ahead and copy that and paste it for the child added as well. Place those last two lines with what we did up here. Okay. And now this is where we're gonna have to tell it the difference between an item that has an item type value of armor and an item that has an item type value of weapon. And that's fairly easy. So we'll just do if child item type value is equal to weapon, then we'll do slot dot equip stats dot damage slash oops. We'll have to put it in here since I have the slash in there. Damage slash defense value is equal to child dot equip stats dot damage dot value. And then we can simply do an else statement for the armor part. We don't have to specify it, because once we determine that this is a weapon, it will only change the defense slash defense damage that slash defense value to our damage value. Once we put that else in there, we don't have to specify exactly what we're looking for. So we'll simply put that as, I'm sorry, this is supposed to be damage spelled full out. And then we'll simply put this as defense dot value. And so simply copy it, paste it onto our child added line. And let me see. Oh, I forgot the item name also needs the equip stats. I think I threw it in there, right? No, I didn't. I'm sorry. No, I didn't. I left that the same. And actually, we don't even need this. I mean, I put this string value there just for the heck of it, but we really don't need the item name value under our configurations for the weapon and the armor. So go ahead, open the weapon and the armor and delete those, because like I said, we're getting the name from the items themselves and not any values. So that was unnecessary to put that there. Let's see, double check. And let's see. I'm going to do a quick playthrough. I'm not going to try to open this up yet, simply because I still need to give it the necessary changes. But let's go ahead, take a peek. We should see that the slots, we go to our player over here and we look into the player GUI, inventory, and then main. Look in here, we should be able to see or not. Oh, I have errors here. Let's see. Equip stats is not a valid member of tool. Equip stats is not a valid member of tool. Did I spell it wrong? Equip stats. Child.equip stats. So it could be the issue. Yeah, it's probably an issue where the script is executing before everything is fully loaded. So in the first go around, it is not finding it. So let's go ahead and add that wait child then. We'll add that wait for child. Equip stats. And I'm just going to copy and paste. Copy and paste. And I'll go ahead, bring these 4 lines down into my child added function. and hopefully I don't get any errors. Item type is not a valid member of Epic Armor. Right, it's not, because we put it inside of equip stats. Go ahead and paste that in there as well. Don't forget the period for this. You don't, if it's in brackets, you don't need to put the period, but if it's not in brackets, make sure you put the period in there. Very important. This. And let's see if, yeah, okay, so that worked. And I'm going to go ahead and open up my player. Go to player GUI, main GUI, inventory, main. And I'm going to look at my Epic Armor's equip stats. My damage defense is at 5. Item type is armor, obviously. The level is 0. And the object value is epic armor. Yeah, we know all that. Why is it 0? That's at 1. Oh, I didn't put... Okay. That's why it was at 0. Okay, so we have that done. Now the next thing we need to do is make sure that actually we don't need the wait child for the slots. I'm sorry. Like I said, this was completely experimental, but let's see. We can just do equip stats for the slots. We don't have to put the wait child for that one. I apologize for all the back and forth. But that is scripting, is programming, coding, all that, whatever you want to call it. All about going back and forth a lot of times, changing, rearranging things. So this is something that is widely expected. Okay, let me play test it again. I shouldn't get any errors. So if I go under my inventory, my player GUI, inventory main, in here damage, item type, didn't show damage. It got the damage for equip stats, but not the defense for the epic armor. Why not? See here. Close that out. Open up server, storage, items. Open up epic armor. Events. Plot that equips stats. That value. File that way. And stat value. And that should be 5. Hey, maybe they do want me to specify it. File dot stats dot item type value equal to armor, and then So it took the level, it took the item type, his armor, but it can't process the... That's interesting. Let me reset, see what happened. GUI. Huh. If I open up the classic, now that's interesting. It says something in line 19 of manager. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to copy and paste this line here. Pretty much everything in your child added should look like what's in this for loop up here. So if you're confused about how I added something in, just know they're both supposed to read the same for the most part. Okay, open my player GUI, main GUI, inventory. I look at the classic sword. Does a damage of 5. I look at my epic armor. It does a defense of 5. Okay, so sorry about that. I got that out of the way finally. So we are good here. So now I can move on. I'm gonna go ahead and close these. All you have to do is hit that little drop down arrow right at the top. Make sure you're hitting the ones for the start of these functions and not anywhere in the middle. Otherwise you will get confused. And we're gonna look at our while loop. And we're going to edit some of the things in here. So like I said, we did make some changes. So, well, first and foremost, we have to update our equip menu because currently it has none of the items. Has none of the proper items for our display our stats. Let's go ahead and add that in. So we already have our description. I'm just going to duplicate this, call it level, duplicate it again, call it damage/defense. That was it, right? Yeah, pretty much. And let's go ahead and give these names so that we don't get confused. This will be our desk. Will be our level. And this will be our damage/def. Okie dokie. Okay, so let's go back to our manager, and under the while loop, let's go down to where we're throwing on these values. So you remember from the last video, we put in our little description here, equip description.text equals you want to equip. Then we threw in the child name, and then we changed the button to equip if the item was not equipped. And we also added the item type. Now, the child is our slot that we duplicated and threw into our GUI here. That's the item slot. So this is where we're going to be doing most of the work. So let's go ahead. Remember, we have the equip stats here. So let's go ahead and put that in there. So we'll have equips. So the equip menu dot item type dot value equals child equip stats dot item type dot value. So we'll also do equipment dot, get the equip menu again. So we have equip menu dot level dot text child dot equip stats dot level dot value dot equipment dot equipment damage / defense dot text equals, you know what, let's do that if else statement that we did for determining the value of damage and defense. We'll basically do the same thing. So if child dot equip stats dot item type dot value is equal to weapon, then this and there, equipment that damage has defense that text should equal, and we're going to basically do the same thing as our description. We're going to write something in, and as well as throw in our value. So it will be, if it's a weapon, it will be damage colon, put in a space, double dot, do child dot equip stats damage / defense dot value. And we'll do else if child dot equip stats dot item type value is equal to what do we say, armor. Then basically we can copy this, plop it on in there, change this to defense, and that's pretty much good for this part. Let's scroll down here. Remember, we put the item type into the equip stats folder, so we'll make sure we update that. And we're looking good on our manager end. So I'm gonna go ahead and disable this, turn it invisible. I'll hit play. Right, so if I click Epic Armor, hello. So it says equip stats is not a valid member of image button. Well, that's interesting because they certainly let us put it up here. I don't know why it's saying that. Equip stats is not a valid member of image button. I'm pretty sure it is. But just to be on the set, yes, it's right there. Oh, I spelled it wrong. I put equip, forgot the I. So go ahead, make sure everything says that. Yep, okay. Let me try this again. Epic armor. Oh, there we go. Do you want to equip epic armor? Says 1 in defense. Let's go back. And just like how we did with the damage / defense, for the level text, we will put quotation marks, level, colon, space, and the double periods in between. Then let's see. Okay, there we go. Do you want to equip epic armor? It is level 1. It has a defense of 5. Same with classic armor, level 1, defense of 5. I don't have... Well, I can't equip it because we haven't gotten to the handler script yet. But, yeah, we haven't set up anything for this level to even make a really big impact. That's okay. There are plenty of data store tutorials out there, especially for stuff that's dealing with levels. You should go ahead and check those out. Like I said in my previous videos, I'm not that good with data stores, so I'm not going to really try that. My voice is going away, my bad. So we're pretty much done with everything in the manager. Let's exit out of that and we'll head straight on to our handler. And if you notice down here, I had an error. It says item type is not a valid member of image button. That is because, like I said before, this was line 19. Yeah, like I said before, we put item type inside of a folder. So we'll have to make sure that we tell it that. So let's head directly to, it's line 19 for me. I don't know what it is for you, but look for this line. If item type that value is equal to script that parent that item type that value, just look for that one. We'll do equip. Oops. Dot equip. Oh, I did it again. Equip stat. It'll be script that parent that equip stats that item type that value. That should be it. We just go through it again. Oh, we also have to update our items. So let's go stats. We'll have to put the equip stats where we show the item types. Change it there. Go here. Stats. Scroll through. I don't think there's any more. I left the equipped bool and the is selected bool outside of the configurations. because that's nothing that's too terribly necessary to be in there. So that should it. Oh, I quit epic armor and I want to equip it. Equip stats is not a valid member of frame. Player stats at Dead Gambit, player guy, main GUI. Player GUI, main GUI. I keep saying guy, I have no idea why. I just, like, I heard somebody told me that they thought it was guy, and now that is stuck in my head. So if I say guy, I'm so sorry. I know it's pronounced GUI, but that's like stuck in my head now. So I'll probably say it here or there. Please just ignore it if you can't. I'm sorry. You'll just have to suffer through it. So players at Dead Gambit, player GUI, main GUI, inventory. And I can't find equip stats. Let me check real quick. No, yeah, right here. Go to equip menu. Oh, right. I'm sorry. We don't have a configuration folder in the equip menu. So we'll just leave that one out. So now it should work. Hopefully. Okay, level 1, defense 5. There we go. We can equip our armor. As well as unequip it, it still shows, it still gives us our the data that we wanted to see. I go to classic sword. Do you want to equip classic sword? It has the same value as the defense for our armor. So I equipped it. There we go. I have my sword. I can't delete the sword because it's in hand. I can't delete the armor because it's currently on me. I can delete, get out of here. I can delete this classic sword because I don't have it equipped. Hello, got another error. Object is not a valid of image button. Right. That is absolutely correct. Because we put it. Oh, I have to go to the manager. I completely forgot. We put the object inside the configuration folder, so it's supposed to be in equip stats. Okay. Okay, let's try this again. I equip the epic armor. Equip the classic sword. This classic sword I don't want. I don't like duplicates, so I delete it. There's another error. Okay, handler 51. Okay, so in the handler, like I said, we have to put that equip stats in there. Oh my god. I am so sorry. Alright, let's just equip this classic sword. I have that equipped in my hand. Yay! Even if it's not in my hand, I couldn't delete it. So here's our epic armor. I click on that. Yes, I do want to equip it. There we go. I don't have any pants. Don't care. This classic sword is not even equipped. I can simply delete it. Now I just have 2 items in my inventory. I am happy. I am satisfied. See, I unequip my armor. And then I can delete it because I don't want it. Now I just have the sword. That's all I really need. So there we go. Let's see what else. I think I'm going to end it there for now. In the next video, I'm going to attempt to implement a search function where you can search for an item type or okay, so I'm just going to lay it out straight. I'm hoping that in the next video I can get a tutorial on how to do a search for your inventory for item type as well as item name. I'm hoping that that will be the outcome of that video. On top of that, I'm also going to be showing you how to make a shop with dialogue. What do I mean by dialogue? Well, you go up to the shop person, he says some things like, hey, how you doing? Want to buy my crap? And then you hit the next button and he either continues to say things that you don't care about, or the shop GUI opens up for you. So that is what is on the agenda for the next video. Thank you so much for watching my tutorials. Again, I'm sorry, this one was kind of shaky. I actually recorded this on 2 separate occasions. So when I did the delete function, that was like way back. And then just recently I recorded the displaying of more values. So it wasn't really synced up properly. Very sorry about that. A lot of time related issues came about. But hopefully I can get back on track with my tutorials if I have the time. So anyways, once again, thank you all so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Right now I'm trying to set up a Discord for those who need help, but I am also looking for... I'm not hiring anyone. This is strictly voluntary. But for people who already know how to code, you know, simply if they can, like, especially with my tutorials, if people have questions, because I get a lot of people who have questions on it and I cannot keep up with everyone. You know, I can't really help everyone. There's only so much I can do. So if people want to assist others, let me know. I'll give you my... Yeah, just let me know. Let me know who your user is on Roblox. I can give you my Discord information and I'll invite you to the server and we can move on from there. But yeah, I am trying to create a Discord server just for those who need help, as well as those who want to volunteer to help people understand different things and like or whatnot. So stay tuned for that. And that's it. So I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Have a great day. Bye.